Welcome to Kayak DIY. In this episode we're going to go over Gator Guard patches and how they can be used as keel protectors or for easy kayak hull repair. So first off, we're going to talk about keel protection. Here you can see we have the start of some keel damage. Here are some other examples of keel damage that I found on the web, some worse than others, such as this one. But even this one right here, that's starting to get into a thin spot. Here's an example of another product out on the market. I've tried it, it just wasn't working for me, so that's why I looked for other options. And that led me to Gator Guard, which I came across at iCAST in Orlando. Upon opening the package, which Gator Guard does come in several different sizes, you will see a kind of gray square patch. And this material you don't want to keep out in the sunlight for too long, so that's why I decided to cut strips for the keel inside, because I wanted to limit the amount of sunlight to the patch. I then came back outside with my strips cut and I lined them up onto the kayak to kind of see where I best wanted to place them, and then I went about cleaning the area. I also wanted to smooth out the area some to make sure that there were no major abrasions that were going to prevent good adhesion. Then peeled off the white backing on the patch and I laid the patch onto the keel, and I began molding the patch around the curved portion of the keel. You got about 5 minutes of good molding time depending on UV light before it really starts to stiffen up. The full cure time I believe is 5 to 60 minutes depending on UV intensity. So here we have the clear backing removed and it's ready to just sit in the sunlight and harden. And when it hardens, it becomes basically like fiberglass, and it's one of the toughest keel protectors I've seen on the market. Here we applied one to the stern, and now we have the bow and stern portion done. It really didn't take long at all. It's one of the easiest materials to apply to a kayak in my opinion. Here I wanted to test the patch for kayak hull repair. So I wanted to simulate damage to kayaks. I'm using a bucket to simulate a kayak because it's made of the same material. Here I took a knife and I created a puncture into what would be the hull of the kayak. Made sure to make it nice and big there. And as you can see, we put water in, major leak, that's no good. So we ended up cutting a patch and we lay the patch over the site. You could cut these patches into any shape you want really. We then end up peeling the clear backing off, and once the patch cures, mind you, you can sand it and it is paintable. Just wanted to mention that. The patch there on the bottom though I didn't think was good enough, and I decided I wanted to simulate some other damage, such as this kind of damage where you have like a split or a crack. So I decided to abuse the poor bucket a little bit more. I'm sorry, Home Depot, but the Homer bucket's getting it. Here I have a pretty good crack in there, which, mind you, if you had a plastic wall that would be a little bit difficult, and if you were actually out and about on your adventure, you might not have a plastic welder with you, but if you have a gator patch, you can get the job done. So you end up peeling the clear backing off, you let it be exposed to some sunlight for a while, and it will harden like fiberglass. And I think it's about time here that we end up testing the patch to see if it actually keeps water out of our simulated kayak. And as you can see here, it's working marvelously. No water is getting inside that bucket. But what if I wanted to, let's say, fill the bucket with water and see if the water would get out of the bucket? So, well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if the water would go through the crack and get to the adhesive and cause the patch to fail. As you can see here, no water was leaking out, and even after being left all day, no water ever did. So thanks for watching the video. Check out the video description below for links to Gator Guard kits. What can Gator Guard stick to? Well, how about aluminum boats, fiberglass crafts, canoes, kayaks, and more?